Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Silent Hill 2. It's time to explore the apartment complex. We need to
Woo.
find a certain number of coins to solve the puzzle to get going where we need to go, but this place is kind of mazy. How you find your apartment here, I have no idea.
Okay, so question. As people who know this game better, is James an apartment complex? I find it quite simple. Is he based on what? Or is he, you telling me a shrimp fried this race?
I don't think he's I don't think he's a simpleton, to be fair. I never got that impression. I never played this game though, to be fair. I don't know.
James is not very punny. He's kind of a serious guy.
He does strike me as someone that when someone says cargo space, he says cargo no, space, cargo road.
That's giving me a based on what vibe then.
Yeah, this place is a bit dark until we find our flashlight, so.
I had noticed that earlier in like one of the rooms you were fighting an enemy in. Like you could barely see what you were fighting.
Yeah, we get a flashlight pretty quickly in here, so don't worry about it too much.
Thankfully. Okay, so one of the things about the apartment complex and all the dungeons really is that you will see familiar rooms and familiar moments, but but rather than having the same layout like the town does and just remixing stuff within that layout, the dungeons are, and I call them dungeons intentionally because they do seriously feel like them. They are much more. They're completely reimagined from the ground up, and like, if you've played the original game, you will have a general idea of where about in the dungeon to expect a particular moment to happen. But as far as level design goes and progression, it's a different experience entirely, which is for the better because like Resident Evil is all about that is all about that navigational complexity thing within a single area. But Silent Hill is a much more linear kind of horror game. You go from area to area, you go through each area, complete your objectives, and move on, right? So, like, it's much more about figuring out how to progress in that linear environment. And that would be a whole lot easier to figure out if the linear environment were the same as it was last time, you know?
It's kind of like how Resident Evil Remake 1 did it, where it kind of plays with the player if you're familiar with the original.
Yeah, it does. We still find the flashlight in this annoying place.
Legs!
Now, these enemies were, like, interesting in the original game, the mannequins, but they weren't very difficult to deal with. They were usually positioned, like, right in the middle of a hallway or something. Here, in this remake, they've turned the mannequins into ambush predators. Like, there's this one jump scare moment, yeah. I don't remember if that was in the original game or not. It's been a while. But they will be ambushing you a lot in this dungeon.
Which is obviously meant to more elicit a reaction from the player, but there was just something very funny about that creature appearing right in front of James, no reaction, just immediately starts swinging.
That ambush does tell you something about how these enemies work, though. Because they're blind. They don't have heads. They're just legs, you know? They can't see.
We're fucked, though, once they start getting eyeballs in the feet.
Because of that, though, you can use their traits to your advantage. Resident Evil 2 Remake did this a bit with the lickers, because they were blind, too.
Yeah.
But you need to be careful about how much noise you're making while you progress through the area. This is one of those areas where slowly, cautiously walking your way through the area is actually a valid tactic and not just a flavor thing.
Well, if the legs are blind, but can they hear?
Yes.
Because they can't see by virtue of having no eyes, but they can hear despite having no ears.
He does have a point.
I mean, it's a mannequin. It doesn't have functional ears either way.
Well, yeah, but if it had eyes, it wouldn't have functional eyes either way. It's a mannequin.
Yeah, true.
I win.
Chessmate, atheist.
Maybe it hears things the same way a snake hears things, and it's all as like vibrations through the floor or something.
I mean, it could be, maybe, yeah.
But one of the things that you're going to want to do very frequently in this area is pay attention to your surroundings, because frequently you'll be able to see, just for a moment, the skittering mannequin as it creeps around a corner when you enter a room. Like it didn't get into its hiding place quickly enough. If you pay attention, you can figure out where the ambush is going to come from and adjust your strategy of entry accordingly.
That is a tiny fucking dumpster.
I'm glad the dumpster knows when it's in the correct location, so that it can just.
So is lock in place?
Yeah, it does. So it's so you don't lock yourself into a position that you can't solve.
Oh, so you can't bring it back out. Yeah. Oh, see, I think in that case you would just have rails on each side of the dumpster.
It's a very gamer convenient dumpster, because you see the handles have these bright yellow markers on them to let you know that you can interact with them. And then the moment the dumpster is in the correct location, it drops the handle and the yellow disappears entirely from your view.
Do you think that was a selling tag on its Amazon page? It was gamer convenient.
Well, given the way culture works today, it could be. You can keep your waifu in here too.
Oh my god.
Lore for Silent Hill 4.
Walter Sullivan, yes.
So they retroactively put in some Easter eggs for people who played the later games.
That was in the original too.
Oh, okay.
They might have rejiggered the content of the file. I don't know. I didn't read it fast enough. But like, Walter Sullivan, the antagonist of Silent Hill 4, was a character who was built off of this one file that mentions him in Silent Hill 2.
So he's only mentioned once, and then they bring him back as a bad guy in 4?
He's mentioned a couple of times, but
he's in the files, but he's just like a background detail for the town, you know? It's not like they were intentionally setting him up as a character, and in fact, the character who appears in Silent Hill 4 doesn't quite completely match what is said of him in 2.
freaking bugs.
So they might have...
We during the summer.
So they might have rejiggered some of the contents of these files to more accurately reflect what Walter Sullivan became when he became a character. But yeah. It was always a cool connection, like these random files in Silent Hill 2 come back to haunt the player as the actual antagonist a whole 2 games later.
Ooh, piece of candy.
So, okay, just to go off topic, on topic for a second here. The game doesn't give you a goal other than find your wife or just figure out what the hell was going on with that letter. Right?
Yes.
The reason you're in this apartment is simply because the apartment is in your way. You know, you can't directly go to where you're trying to get to because the town has all these collapsed roadways and stuff. And the apartment just seems to be the most direct path that you can actually access to get where you're going.
Okay.
Sadly, it's full of Resident Evil puzzles, so...
God damn it.
I wouldn't even say Resident Evil puzzles because, like, the puzzles in Silent Hill always tended to be more... Like, they fall into 2 categories. They're in the naturalistic ones where you find everyday items and combine them to do an adventure game effect, like melting a candle, sticking a horseshoe in it, and sticking it in a hatch to make a handle. But But then there are the riddles, which are a different breed of puzzle entirely, where you have to solve a riddle to figure out what to do with some key items. And the riddles are what usually change on puzzle difficulties. Like, you'll get a kind of easy riddle in the normal mode. And then when you switch it to puzzle mode hard, it's the kind of riddle that you're going to sit there for 20 minutes trying to figure out.
Riddle me this, James. If quizzes are quizzical, then what are tests?
James just looks on amused at Riddler.
And just smacks him with the board.
Tough crowd.
This
Ooh, piece of
moment.
candy.
It's a key. Obviously, I need this to make progress, so why are we hesitating to reach through the bars at this thing? Come on, James.
Like this is not an issue.
Oh, you little prick. Oh, man.
Why did she do that? She doesn't even...
Damn it.
Have you met an 8-year-old? They're
And
dicks.
then James reveals that, and then James just goes through the bars like a T1000. It's like, well, two could play this game.
And we're back in the courtyard.
You see, that's actually a really good, like, moment, though, because you expect something scary to come out at that kind of point.
Yeah.
The last thing you expect is some dipshit annoying 8-year-old to come and fuck with your day. You know, like, that's awesome.
It's going to be one of those days, James.
Is this what the neighbor in Dennis the Menace felt like?
But then you start to wonder, wait, what is this little girl doing in this monster-infested town? And that is a question that James himself is going to ask, because she's very out of place. She has a reason to be here. It's also implied that the monsters don't appear for her. Like, she's completely safe. She's just a girl wandering around an abandoned town, you know? Nothing is going to happen. Safer than she would be in an actual town with people in it. Because there are no strangers to be dangerous to, you know? No
I mean, the
stranger
lack of
danger.
food's kind of a problem. Or, like, I assume clean water. Maybe if you, like, leave your towel out, the fog will get it wet, and then you can drink the fog water.
As
Ew.
our good friend Eddie can attest, food is not hard to come by in Silent Hill.
We'll meet Eddie in a little bit.
It will be when Eddie is finished with the town, though. Jesus.
Something tells me I don't want to know what you're referring to, so I'm going to choose to ignore it.
We'll keep watching, yeah. Well, maybe Silent Hill works on sort of like a reverse logic because everything is so decrepit and rust-ridden. Like, the nastier the food looks, the better it is for you.
We keep finding this white dress. I wonder what it signifies.
Well, white clothing symbolizes purity and whatnot, which is why you often wear, like, why traditionally brides wear white dresses, because this is your history moment for the day. Back in ye olden days where marriage was a transaction and the woman had no say in the matter, their parents would put the women into a white dress signifying, look, this is my daughter. She has definitely not had sex with any other man because she is wearing this pretty white dress. Now, I'm going to give her to you, and you're going to give me money.
Yeah.
What's going on?
He's got huge tracts of land.
You know, for all the troubles that there are in the world, I'm glad I was born in the late 80s and not medieval times.
Yeah. Because, you know,
Do you
there's
think we'd still
also
be doing
that.
BrainScratch
in
if you
the-
did?
Yeah, ye old BrainScratch, where we take like the old manuscripts that a monk would have written down, and then we're just writing our own dipshit comments in the margins.
Hey, that's Henry VIII. That's kind of sus, right? What the fuck did you say?
We're just the Statlers and Waldorfs of the time.
Ooh! It's actually funny. I believe that monks did actually do shit like that, because when you're a monk in the 1500s, life's probably pretty dull if you're just reading the Bible and transcribing books all day. So, like, there are notes of... Because monks were among some of the only people who knew how to read back in that day. So, like, they would just put their own little notes for their own amusement in margins of books. And some of them are pretty amusing. Like, one of the first recorded instances, if I remember correctly, of the word fuck being written down in the English language is something of a monk writing down, oh my god, that fucking nun's the worst.
All right. I mean, now I'm envisioning monk BrainScratch commentaries. And
Oh well, we'd all have the terrible monk thing, like where we're bald and we have that strip of.
Hey, I'm already halfway there.
Yeah, but you have to grow the little bit of hair on the outside though, like beneath it.
What would we have called ourselves without an anime episode to name our channel after, though?
So the only things that there were really around to read were like the Bible, like because this is before Shakespeare even. So like something off of the Canterbury Tales, probably.
Canterbury Comms?
Canterbury Comms, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Ironically, we're
BSC, but the B stands for Bible.
Bible Scratch Comms.
Yeah.
Oh no, that gets us burned at the stake by the Pope for being sacrilegious. That's not what we meant. That's not what we meant.
Dealing with that vomit attack in a narrow hallway is always a bit difficult.
Yep.
You kind of have to angle yourself to one side of the hallway and then dodge to the other to get them to vomit in a direction that you can avoid.
But yeah, these topics and more in the next part of BrainScratch Commentaries. So see you guys all there where we talk more about what we would do if we were in medieval times. Later.